236699.
So what's going to happen is there is a live chat feature. If you guys are watching this live right now, there's a live chat feature on YouTube where you can ask your questions and it'll show up in the chat box so I can answer those. If you catch us on a replay, just go ahead and leave your comments below. I'll circle back in and start answering some questions for you as I see them roll in over the next couple of days and weeks. And if you're over watching us over on Facebook, again, just use the comments below the video and you will be able to interact with me that way. So again, hopefully you guys can hear me, you guys can see me. I don't have my second computer here for some reason. I just had a mental mistake and I forgot to set that up before I did this. I actually had a fit with my Windows computer this morning and decided to actually nuke my Windows 10 laptop and restart from scratch. So it's been one of those days. So we've got checking in this evening so far. We've got John Egan over from New Jersey. John, Happy New Year. Thanks for joining. Kevin Zwicky, how are you doing, Kevin? Kevin, you should be able to join if you're not over already. You should be able to get us over on the Zoom session. I see you in there now as well. Also on Zoom, we've got Jim got you over there. Again, Robert got you in over there. Paul is in, and Kevin is now joining us over on Zoom as well. Let's see. Joe got you in. How you doing from Facebook? Phil, how you doing from Aberdeen, Washington? Ray got you in. Thanks again, Ray, for joining. Joe Messina, how you doing? Messina, happy New Year to you, Joe. And let's see. Joe says KC2QYW from Harrison, New York. And Kristen Pedia, good to see you again there, Kristen. And Christina, I can never remember which way it goes. But good to see you in there again this week. Dale, good to have you in. Has audio on YouTube, very good. Chris, just saw you pop up there on Zoom. Good to see you back in Oregon. And let's see, Mike is checking in from Roanoke, Virginia. And New Mexico Misfit got you in as well. So again, I'm here for your questions. Go ahead and ask some questions. Max from New Zealand, great to have you on there as well. So hopefully you're enjoying your Wednesday afternoon. Let's see who we got over here too. Leo is in Buffalo. Okay, so again, you have any questions for me, just go ahead and make sure you type them in the sidebar if you're watching this live on YouTube down below in Facebook. And Christina, sorry about that. The A throws me off. I don't know if it's Apedia or if it's like Wikipedia, but okay, very good. Now I know for next month and next time. So I have on Zoom, I've got one question so far from Jim, and he is asking, when using close call, when the scanner hits on a frequency, is there a way to have it saved in the scanner? The manual has very little on close call, and Kevin answers and believes that if you press E, that will allow you to save the frequency. And Kevin, you are correct on that one. So what you would do is, I'm watching Jim move around. He's got a snow scene on his Zoom, and he stands up, and it's like he's walking around. That's the scene, but he gets thinner and thinner as he walks away because the background takes more and more from away. So Kevin is correct on that one. If you do press enter while you have a close call hit, it will ask to store it. I believe there's also a way in there too to auto store your close calls, but I know there's definitely a quick save bank in the SDS 100 and 200, and even all the other lines as well with the quick call or the close call is you can press enter and it will save it into a quick store if you wanted that say that or a quick group in there as well. So very good. First question coming in from Zoom. And again, the other areas, Facebook and YouTube, don't have the visibility to Zoom. If you want to join us on Zoom, you can become a Patreon supporter at $5 a month, and the link will be right in your Patreon dashboard as soon as you join. Dave is in from Boston, Massachusetts. And Philip is asking, how do you get Wi-Fi to work on the SDS200? Well, Wi-Fi is not built into the SDS200. Only a wired LAN connection is built in. What you can do, though, and I've seen online, and I've never actually tested this out personally, is they make Wi-Fi bridges that it's got pigtails. So one end plugs into the Wi-Fi LAN connector on the front of the scanner, and then it has a Wi-Fi interface on it, and that will connect to your wireless internet at home. So I haven't really played around that again personally here, but I've seen people on Radio Reference that have set that up and are using that. So you would need to buy an extra piece of hardware and set that up, but once you got it set up, your SDS200 would have Wi-Fi on it. Dave is asking, are you planning on doing any future shoes on optimizing Easy Scan? I guess you mean episodes. So, yes. So, I actually had that in the works for this month to go through some Easy Scan stuff. But I had a change of plans over the last couple of days. What we're going to do on the podcast for the next couple of days is, or next couple of weeks, is we're going to do a crash course on getting yourself up to speed in scanning in 2021. I know a lot of the earlier catalog for Scan at School at this point, right? We're going back, was it 2018 or so? So we're getting to the 3-year mark on some of this material. Everybody doesn't start at episode 1. People just come in and they start listening right away. Plus, it's a crash course. So for the next 3 weeks, starting next week, what's going to happen is we're going to just cram down your throat in 3 episodes everything that you need to know to either get into the scanning hobby in 2021 or get yourself up to speed with scanning in 2021. So that means that we're going to take you from what is a frequency and a PL code all the way through what is trunking, what is DMR, what's the difference between phase 1 and phase 2. How do you troubleshoot your scanner when something doesn't work anymore? Why you need certain types of coax? How to combine and split antennas? So basically, we're going to take just small segments of every podcast episode, or a lot of the podcast episodes we've done, and we're going to compress it into 3 weeks, about 30 minutes a week, and get that taken care of. We're also going to wrap up the end of this month with our very first live workshop, and details are coming out on that next week. So what that'll be is the same kind of format, me here live to be with you, but instead of you asking me questions in rapid fire, it's going to be a presentation, slides, videos, movies, images and graphs, and even a live whiteboard where I can sketch things out. And this will be done on a webinar platform, so it'll be done outside of YouTube, because I want to make sure that you guys are not going to be distracted by the fancy stuff on the side column of YouTube. But you'll be able to come back too. We'll be able to cut it up and actually make a full-on course out of this. So you can go back and pull on just the module you want. Like if you need a refresher on simulcast, you'll be able to go right to the simulcast module and get a rundown on that. So these are all things we're working on, and monthly we're going to bring a monthly webinar to you guys. I know we talked about maybe making a Scanner Radio website. Something did pop in my mind that I may want to shoehorn into February, but now I forget what it is. So now the website stuff is back on the table because I forget what my bright idea was. But we are working on upping our tutoring type of content to bring more to you guys, to kind of really start teaching. Again, to Radio Reference, there's a lot of people who jump on there, newbie here, and I see it's a lot of the same questions. So I want to try to address that and maybe have a centralized area where we can really put something together to crash course how to get into the hobby, because I think a lot of people are getting in, they get overwhelmed, they see the digital stuff, and then it just scares them, or turns them off to actually getting more involved in the Scanner Radio hobby, and that really shouldn't be. So so now I'm sidetracked, but so that's where it was. So long story short, which I know is too late for that, I was going to do easy scan this month, but the next 3 weeks, starting next week, are all going to be revolved around the tutoring session or the crash course session. So, yes, we will do that eventually. All right, coming back in. Let's see. Mike is asking, how can you pair headphones with Bluetooth on Unication G5? You know, Mike, I've never actually tried that. I know that a lot of the high-end Bluetooth devices have actually had problems pairing with the G5, especially devices like, the there we go, like the Apple device and stuff like that. Unication does sell like the cheap end of Bluetooth devices, and those pair well with the G series pagers. I don't know if it has something to do with the Bluetooth versions or something like that. But I know a lot of people too, they try and pair it to their cars, and I just don't. It doesn't. I don't think it was ever made to pair up with something like that. So I haven't actually played around with it, but that's definitely a good question. And again, on the East Coast Pages side of the house, I'm going to be bringing more of those kinds of videos. So that's definitely something I'm going to bookmark and Mike and make a video on that one as well. So that would be coming. In fact, so do not forget about it. Here's my sticky notes, and we are going to do that. So G5 Bluetooth tutorial. And you can look for that over, Mike, on East Coast Pages YouTube channel, which is pretty much a vacant area right now. Moving on, we got a lot of questions in the queue now. Ray is saying, on my SDS, I'm sorry, my SDS was the previous one. On my BC75 XLT, I hear bus and lots of static. What can be done? Is it on the ham and many different freaks even present? What do you want to come back? So static on analog is generally from when you're not receiving a signal strong enough. And it's artifacts in the RF and stuff like that. So how do you get rid of the static? Well, you can start by getting a better antenna, or getting an outdoor antenna, or getting something with more gain on it. Coming closer to the transmission area would help you alleviate the static, because the stronger the signal is over the noise, then you can clear out the static and it will come in quiet. So that's what you would do. If you're getting static when there's no transmissions, then your squelch is set too low, and you're going to have to raise the squelch on the scanner in order to pull out the static. But really, you got to be closer to the transmission source, get a better antenna, get up higher, get an outdoor antenna, get an antenna with gain. Or it could be that maybe your scanner took too many falls and now has a bad connection in it. I've seen that happen as well. Or the antenna you're using is no longer functional. And that's pretty much some of the troubleshooting that comes along with a lot of static on things. It could be too that you're just trying to pick up something that's just too far away, and you're just having a hard time trying to get into that. So that could be as well. Moving down the list, Dale is saying enjoyed the Christmas video, so thanks a lot, Dale. Yep, I'm trying to get a little bit healthy for the new year. I started a little bit early, so for those of you that watched that video, I want to say again, thank you for watching that, and I hope you enjoyed your Christmas, Dale. Anybody who's asking, the video was part of my email newsletter. I sent out a Merry Christmas video to the subscribers, and if you want to get on our email list, just go to scannerschool.com, and right on the front page is where you can sign up for the email. Chris is saying, good evening. Kenneth is around and is having computer issues. Kenneth, yeah, I saw you pop in and out of the Zoom chat. Let's see. Christina's asking, I've got a Pro 651. How come the Suffolk County Fire Rescue Emergency Services transmission sometimes cut off in the middle of a dispatch as if they let go of the mic? This happens to FDs too sometimes. So annoying. Well, it could be just that. They could be just dropping the microphone. It could be that your scanner just decides that it thinks the signal's gone and it goes back to scan. If it's happening on the trunk system, because I know there's a couple Fres talk groups too now on the Suffolk system, make sure you've got your delay set up. Make sure you've got that 2-second delay turned on those frequencies. Make sure you've also got the delay set up on the talk groups. This will at least allow you, when the scanner or the transmission drops, gives you 2 seconds to come back for that carrier, the torque group, to come back on again before the scanner continues. It could also be, too, that if you've got your scanner set for weather priority or even just regular old priority mode, that the scanner is going to something else, and then when it comes back, then the transmission is gone. So those could be some sort of ideas. Dan is asking, I have an SDS 100 and the audio seems to cut out and clip out the last bit of a transmission. Any ideas on that one? That's an interesting one. Cut out the last bit of a transmission. I'm assuming it's P25 or digital, Dan. Let me know below in the comments. That one, I don't. How would the scanner know when a transmission's about to end and then decide to cut off just at that one point? Something's got to be going on there, but that's interesting. But yeah, let me know if it's digital, if it's trunking, and then we'll get to that part 2, Dan. Philip's asking, what's the next model of a Bearcat scanner? We don't know yet. As far as we know, there's nothing new coming down the pike. If you watch the scanner guys, they have a show 8 p.m. on YouTube. They were passing around some images of the Home Patrol 3. And it was actually pretty interesting. They said it covered the microwave band, and it was actually, a microwave oven with an antenna on the top and something else. So it was, I don't know. As far as we know, because of Paul Opit's passing not too long ago, nobody really knows where anything is as far as what might be coming down. And of course, Unity would never really let you know too much anyway. So once they started getting like the FCC type acceptances and stuff like that, then the cat started to get let out of the bag a little bit. So that's when you kind of start to see more information about a new scanner coming along. But I think right now, Uniden is kind of in an area where they've got entry-level scanners and they got advanced scanners. I would bet to say they would do something to either replace or eliminate the BCT15 XT, only because it's sitting in a point where it's the only analog-only trunking scanner. It's on the market right now. So whether or not we need to keep that, I don't know. I mean, it's a great scanner. There's plenty of areas that don't need digital. So I think it kind of sits in there. I'm going to just help out and zoom here really quick. So I'm going to click on that button. All right. There we go. All right. There we go. Thumbs up from Jim. Let's see. Les, how you doing, Les? Good to see you on the group. I got your Patreon today. I want to thank you so much for joining. If you're in the Patreon portal too, you can jump over and meet us in a little bit for our roundtable discussion. And also, I have an update to your question as well on the Patreon yearly. It seems like that is an option, but not for me. So I've contacted Patreon to see if that's something that can be done. So we'll see. You want to ask that one, so it's definitely something to look into. Let's see. Kenneth is saying Spotsylvania County. Les, there's your question. How do you get with the Zoom session tonight? So, Les, if you go over into the Patreon site, so go to scannerschool.com/Patreon and log into Patreon, there is a discussion board there. And right on there, there's a link to join the Zoom session. You'll have to download Zoom in order to join. But once you do, the link will take you right in. And that'll let you in now. So you can actually join it now. And then when we're done with the YouTube and the Facebook session, we'll all be over on Zoom with the Extra Credit Club. Alrighty. Ray's saying he's got the RH77CA. It's when no one is talking and stopping on them, squelch is set to factory and no fall. Keep it new. It's when no one's talking. Okay. So yeah, you got to rate your squelch level there, Ray. That's what you got to do in order to solve that one. And the 75. I don't have a 75, but I believe that one's got the single dial. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hit function, and then you're going to probably want to push down once on the volume knob, which will then enable the squelch setting, and then you can turn the dial up and down to raise the squelch. So the closest thing I have is my SR30C, if it still has a charge on it. Yes, it does. So we'll just go to hold, and I'll hit function, and I'll hit down, and there's my squelch levels. Okay, so here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm stopped on a channel, and I'm going to hit function. I'm going to push down, and that brings up my squelch level. And now I can go up and down. And see, I'm down too low. And when I raise it up, the static goes away. And then once you're done, you just hit enter, and you're back out. So that's how you would do that one. Chris is asking, when am I going to be on the scanner guys again? You know what, Chris? I'll be on. I don't have an appointment with those guys yet, those knuckleheads, but I will. I will be back. We've had discussions about things that we can do in the future, and I'm going to leave it up to them. But it's really exciting what they have in the works and they have planned, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it. So I will. I'll definitely be back on the scanner guys, and they'll actually be back on the podcast too whenever I invite them back or they want to come back on. It's an open invite, so I think we've got that kind of relationship now with those guys that we can come and go as we please. so we'll see. We'll see when that happens. Alrighty, let's see. Ken is saying he never got his G4 to pair with anything over Bluetooth, and Dan's following up with P25 LAPD. Yes. So yeah, it's interesting that would happen. I don't know what would cause the radio to ditch out just prior to the transmission dropping. Again, try setting your delay timer to see if it will hang on the talk group a little bit longer. That may help you out there. And I don't have any other suggestions to that one. That one's kind of an interesting one. Maybe make sure too that your delay isn't set to a negative. I don't know if that's still an option on the SDS line. It was on the earlier scanners. But if you set it to a negative, that would mean that the scanner would start to scan so many seconds after it received the transmission, regardless if there was still an active transmission. So if you set, say, the delay time to -10, that would mean that 10 seconds after the scanner stopped on that frequency, no matter what was going on, it would go right back into scan mode. So that's something that you can do for those frequencies that are just really active, like some of the hand repeaters. They just don't, it never drops. Let's see what we got here. Christina's, you got the heap error. Oh boy, I feel bad for you. So heap errors. Okay. I'm hoping you've got some software because that's the easiest way to fix this heap error. What happens with the heap error in those types of radios is that you've assigned you've set up a talk group, but you didn't assign it to a scan list. So you're going to have to go in there and with software find that talk group, assign it to a scan list, and then program the scanner back up again, and then the heap error should go away. So if you have the software, that'd be great. I don't think there's any way around a heap error. If you can get into the scanner and get into the menus, again, go into your programming, find that last talk group you've put in there, and then you can do it. So yeah, you have to just reload the scanner. You press too many wrong buttons. It happens to everybody. In fact, I had somebody drop off a Pro 163 to me yesterday because he pressed too many buttons, and now I've got to figure out what buttons to unpress. So yeah, that happens to a lot of people. So he did the mash, right? So that's what ended up happening there. Ray is saying same thing. You raise that scanner squelch value up to 10 and you're still getting squelch, the noise. Joseph is saying he knows SDS 100 came out in 2018 and it's the number one handheld scanner and it works excellent with simulcast. Do you think there will going to be anything better than the SDS 100? Right now, absolutely not. You're still in the infancy on the scanner radio timeline with that scanner. There are definitely are older scanners out there, again, like the BCT 15XT. I really wish they didn't kill the 346, but I think that one had its doom once they came out with the C version of that one for California and they took out the charging circuit. But yeah, that radio fit right in the middle as well. But it just seems like both Whistler and Uniden just decided that, analog trunking is, I mean, it is, sunset at this point, right? Motorola is and the EDAX and LTR, right? They were all like end of life technologies, but a lot of people don't need digital, but what are you going to do? Let's see. We got Fuzz the Pie Guy. Fuzz, good to see you in there. Thanks for joining us. And I don't know if you saw it, but I did respond to your email. So if you haven't seen it yet, that is in your inbox. So check it out. I want to thank you again, Fuzz, for reaching out to me. I really do appreciate that. Let's see what we got here as well. Andrew's saying, what do you recommend for people to hold time on a trunk system? So it depends, Andrew, on that question. My normal hold time on a trunk system is 2 seconds. I think that usually gives enough opportunity for a dispatcher and a field unit to converse on a talk group. Your money may vary though, depending where you live. I know sometimes when I'm a New Yorker, right? We're quick, right? You don't stand in front of somebody from New York at the deli counter and then decide when you get to the counter, you're gonna look at the menu and figure out what it is you want to eat, right? You're gonna show up, you're gonna know what you want to eat, you're gonna move on. It's like the Seinfeld episode with the soup Nazi, right? You got to know what you're going to order and you move on. So with that said, in New York, 2 seconds works good where I'm from because we talk like this, right? If you haven't noticed me, talking to you guys, it's very quick. Some areas, maybe, no offense to anybody, but maybe down south, things are a little bit slower. And maybe there's a little bit more time between when a dispatcher dekeys and then a field unit comes on again. I don't know, right? I don't really travel and listen out of my immediate area that often. But depending where you are and the cycle time or the duty cycle, I guess, of that talk group, you may want to extend that time. Again, too long and the transmission will you'll hang on it too long. I have a scanner feed set up for the fire departments in the county, and I've actually cranked that one up to a 3 on the delay time because sometimes, again, too, you just need that extra couple of seconds before the scanner goes back in the scan because we have a lot of countywide dispatches are still on 4610, which is low band, and some of the field communications are still simplex on low band. So once they dekey, right, you want that scanner to just sit there and just see if somebody's going to key back again. When you have a repeater, though, you've got that 2 second squelch tail, right? So somebody dekeys, the radio stays up, the repeater stays up for 2 seconds, then the carrier drops, then the scanner waits 2 more seconds. That gives you a total of 4 seconds. I know it's different on a talk group, but I'm just giving you the different examples on how I would mentally think about what the right delay time is on a scanner. So again, talk groups are a different animal because again, once the radio dekeys, the radios go back to your scans go back to the control channel, and it's going to wait for that talk group to come back up again. So again, I always start with 2 and just see how that works. All right, we got a pile of questions here. I gotta hurry up. Let's see what else. I moved the mouse and now I lost my place here. Let's see. Kevin is saying SDS 100 and 436 will turning on ID search slow down the scanning or make you miss transmissions versus having the ID search off. So the scanner can only do one thing at one time. Once the scanner leaves the control channel and it's on a voice channel listening to a talk group, it's not going to go back to the control channel until the voice channel is done or that voice transmission is over. So it will not necessarily slow down your scanning, but you could definitely miss transmissions that you intended to listen to because you're in ID search mode. So that's the short answer on that one. Let's see. What's the free software again? Can't remember the name of it for download. For the Pro 651, Christina, there wasn't a free version of software, I don't believe. A PSR 500, I think, was one of them. Don't know if that one was free or not. I never used that one. FreeScan doesn't work with it, but I've always used ARC 500, and I think it's $30 for that. And again, if you're looking for that one, I am an affiliate for Butel, so you can go to scannerschool.com/Butel, and that'll take you over to their website with my code, and then that'll help out Scanner School when you make the purchase. Let's see what else we got here. Chris, I like your comment on there as well. Chris is saying to Ray that he might pick up a digital transmission on his analog radio. That would sound like static. That's true as well. And Christine is also saying that it could be RF interference. All good. Good. Glad you guys are chiming in on the chat. That's awesome. Thanks for helping out with that one. Let's see. Chris is saying he's using those old Pro 164 scanner for aircraft with the 901 antenna from the Governor guys. Yeah, I mean, those Pro radios, they work, and then all of a sudden, boop, they're gone. So I've had a few of those, but I got my Pro 164 sitting under the desk over on this side. It's been in storage for a while. Good radio, like the way it sounds, and it just to me the screen just never did it for me. It was always too limited as to what I could see on that screen, but that was just the nature of the beast on that type of radio. I did like the WS-1065 and everything else. I mean, it's just the sound that came out of those radios was really nice, so I like those. Thumbs up back to you, Fuzz. Let's see. Joe is saying, yeah, you want to know because you want to stick with it. Yeah, just stick with it, man. Great scanner. Let's see. I get Facebook users saying, hey. Let's see. It's say hi, Kathy. And Les cannot get into Zoom. All right, we'll do a quick thing on Zoom really quick, Les, to get you going on that one before we quit out of here. And, yeah, Ken has a ladder 10 to mute Manhattan K. That's how you know the transmission was over. Maybe the scanners listen to that before it, Dan, before it dekeys in the talk group. It's here in the K, and then it just rolls out of here. So let me do this. We really didn't do anything over here, and I guess I got to look over the chat over there on the Zoom session as well. We're running a little bit late, but let's see. I'm just logging in here to my Patreon dashboard so I can show Les how this would work over here. And I need to do this one. Let's see, showing all creators. Nope, I need to show me. Let's see, all posts. Just give me a second, guys, while this loads up. Okay, so let me just switch screens here. I lost my screen. Safari, and then we're going to transition. All right, I'm going to show you guys enough without showing you guys too much here. So, Les, when you go to the Patreon page for Scanner School, when you scroll down a little bit here, the first post up there, the newest post, is going to be the Extra Credit Club post. And you just click on Continue Reading, and that will take you to the link that has the information for Zoom so that you can join on the Zoom call. So that's what you're looking for here. So if you go to scannerschool.com/Patreon, sign in to your Patreon account, and then they'll get there. So if you're having problems later on, I'll send you a video on how to go through it step by step if you need that as well, and I can always email that over to you because I do have your email address now that you are a Patreon supporter, and I really do appreciate that. I will get your Squelchy stickers right over here. We'll get those in. There we go. We'll get those in U.S. mail so they can cross the border and get over to you. So I got to see how I got to address that in order to get over to your side of the border. All right, so back to the chat, and there you go, Andrew. For trunk system, detect, encode, or ignore. Ooh, that's a good one. So we actually had an issue with our local trunk system here where we would get a voice channel that would hang. So a talk group would end up on a voice channel, and then they were done talking, but the scanner would stick and stay on that voice path. It would not go back to the control channel. So what we ended up doing is we set the encode, or the detect encode, to enable. So this way, even if the carrier was still going on the voice channel, it would then go back over to the control channel and know that, once the unit dekeyed, right away to go over. So again, depending on your system and your setup, I think at P25 that's a moot point, but you could try setting toggling detect encode. I think if you enable that, that might actually help you out if it's a Motorola Type 2 system. Steve is asking, how do you get your stickers? Steve, they are available to anybody who signs up for Patreon. It's $5 a month, and that's all really it takes to get your stickers. And again, the $5 a month, really the first month you're involved with it, pays for basically the shipping of the stickers over to you, the postage, the cost of the stickers basically. So if you jump in for just a month to grab your stickers and jump out again, it's basically helping me out by not cost me any money to get the stickers over to you. So again, Steve, it is scannerschool.com/Patreon. And again, that's been running on the ticker below, but I will put it down in the chat as well. Scannerschool.com/Patreon. And again, after we wrap this up in a couple minutes, everybody who's in the Extra Credit Club on Patreon, which is a $5 a month tier, we will do our roundtable discussion, which is basically anything scanner and radio related. We kind of hang out for about an hour and talk through everything on there as well. So let's just see if I didn't miss any other questions before we wrap this up this evening. This was a busy evening. I want to thank everybody for coming in and checking in, and especially the conversation going on the YouTube channel as well with the help. And I really do appreciate that one. That's great that we got some back and forth on there as well. That's what it's all about, man. It's all about grabbing the community together to bring everybody in, to kind of not only have me here answering questions, but to have you guys, talking and helping each other out as well. We do the same kind of thing too every week on Zello. Well, we have been doing this on Zello. Took a couple weeks off due to the holidays. So next Tuesday we should be there. So scannerschool.com/Zello. And again, it's about 30 minutes to an hour, and we just ask questions, answer questions, have a conversation, and those kinds of things. So, and with that, my throat is telling me it's been. I hope this is a new water. My throat is definitely telling me it's been about a half hour mark. So, we got that one. Number to call, Steve. So, a number to call for questions would be 516-308-2885. That'll get you on the podcast to ask a question, and it goes straight to voicemail. So that's the number. The other one would be scannerschool.com/ask, and you can reach out to me direct, phil@scannerschool.com. Real quick over on Zoom, let's see if we got any other questions over here. Nope, no soup for you. And let's see. Robert's asking if anyone has any knowledge of the Palmetto 800 system. Robert, I did some programming of that system not too long ago for a customer, and I got a little bit of knowledge on that one, just a little bit, just to get me by on that one. Tim Cregan. Tim, long time no see. If you're the same Tim Cregan who I think you are, it has been a very, very long time, my friends. Good to see you on, and hope all is well with you and your family. So with that, I think we are out of questions. So I want to thank everybody who's joined. Now, again, I want to remind you all that our free SDR training course that everybody's been kind of bugging me for the last, year and change, is getting close to being complete and published. So if you go to courses.scannerschool.com, and that should be in the description of this video, that'll put you on the list so that when the course is available, you will actually have it delivered to you. And again, this is a course to show you how to, I got so many here now. I've got the RTLs, RTLSDR.com version 3 dongles. I've got more of these new elect dongles. I'm not even looking at myself here, so I have no idea if you guys are seeing this. I got brand new in the box, a SDR play that was just delivered. And I've also got a Hack 1. Right, we're going to go through setting all these up through the courses and how to set up your Windows computer to get you up and running. Again, this is a free course, so you go to courses.scannerschool.com. And again, we're going to teach you not just to be dangerous in the free course. So how to get the SDRs plugged in, how to get SDR sharp running, how to tune into your first FM signal, your first AM channel, how to set up memories and set up scan lists, all using an SDR, and the point is to get you up and running in just like 2 hours or so. So it's supposed to be just in an afternoon, okay? More advanced topics are coming, and that will be a separate course, but just to get you guys up and running, again, courses.scannerschool.com. Also, we are going to be doing, again, we said earlier in the session, we're going to have our first webinar at the end of the month. It's probably going to be the last Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I originally set it for 9 a.m., but that's going to get a little late on the East Coast, and I don't want to make it too late. So we're going to try to push it back an hour to 8 and see how that works. But it's going to be the crash course of 2021, how to get into scanning and how to learn everything. And you're going to walk out of it with a lot of information, and you'll know everything you have to know to start or continue scanning in the year 2021. Again, free resource. Sign up for our email newsletter. and that's where we'll deliver the email, the information about that course to you. All right. So with that, I'm going to do a really quick thing. Yep. Good. Same for Tim. Good to see you on, Tim. Thanks again for joining. And I got one more thing to do here before I fade out of here. So we're going to hit this button here. Again, I want to thank all of my Patreon supporters at every single level for your continued support. Again, you guys really help keep Scanner School going. And again, you can catch us on our weekly podcast every Tuesday. You can grab that on any podcast player. And also now on YouTube. So if you subscribe to us here on YouTube every Tuesday, the podcast is also delivered now to YouTube. I've had a lot of feedback from people saying that it's a great resource, that they can find it easier over here on YouTube. So we'll continue to also post a podcast here as well. Finally, ask your questions again. If you have another question you want to ask, scannerschool.com/ask. And if I answer your question, if you ask me a question using a voicemail like Les did, Les, I know I owe you a session, so please reach out to me via email, or now I have your email, I can reach out to you too and get that over to you. You can win a free consulting call, which is basically me sitting down with you on Zoom and going through whatever it is that you need help with on your scanner radio journey. So, again, I want to say 7-3, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. We'll do this again on the first Tuesday of February. Again, check your emails for the upcoming webinar, the course for the SDR, and also anybody who's watching on Zoom, hang tight. Give me a couple seconds here, and we'll be over on Zoom in just a minute. 7-3, everyone. Thank you so much, and enjoy what's starting to be hopefully a good year for you.